What's the worst cut that you've ever had to deal with in a fight? So, do you know much of Jake Paul? Have you?
Oh no, he can fight. You don't know that about it. And the thing about it,
People seem to think that Jake Paul may just completely outbox KSI. How do you think? Do you think that would be a mismatch, or do you think that would be a close fight as well? So I'm Ezzy Talk Sports. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined by legendary boxing cutsman Stitch DURAN. How are you doing today, Stitch?
I'm doing super, man. Thanks for having me on, Easy.
I'm alright. So, first of all, I want to know, how did you get the name Stitch? Because I feel like a lot of people won't know that your real name's not actually Stitch.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because people always ask me what my real name is, right? It's always Stitch. But years ago, I had a school of kickboxing, and I was working with one of my fighters, and I was making the transition of being a trainer into learning how to be a cut man, and knowing what I know now, Easy, he had a small cut, but I saw what these other cutmen would do is they would get pieces of tape and then rip them and then make what you call a butterfly. So I did that, and he says, oh, I don't have to go to the hospital. You send me some stitches. I'm going to call you Stitch. So that's Dave Rooney. And I just talked about him the other day because last time I heard he was a fisherman somewhere up in Alaska, but find out that now he's chartering boats around the San Francisco area. So, yeah, I don't know if he knows how much he changed my life because the whole world kind of knows me as Stitch.
Yeah. So let's take it back. How did you become a cutsman?
Well, going from that, I in 1974, I was stationed in Thailand in the Air Force, and I studied the Muay Thai system while I was there, the Taekwondo, the Muay Thai system, and got back to the States and opened up a school of kickboxing. So I was a trainer, but I wanted to learn how to do everything. So I pursued learning how to wrap hands, learning how to work cuts. But keep in mind, in those days, it was boxing only, and they were very egotistical. So I went to a boxing show one time, and the guy did a good job on a cut, and I asked him what he did, and he says, "Fuck you." He goes, "I'm taking this to my grave, and you got to learn like me." And he walked away. So I said, "I'm never going to be like that, man." And I've done this interview hundreds of times, but I've never thrown his name out. And, now I go back to Oakland with Andre Ward, and both our credibility. Andre Ward's a world champion, of course, and I'm working with him, plus, other things. And he forgot about it, but now him and his son want to come and take a picture with me. So I obliged him, but he don't know how much he just reinforced that I don't want to be like this guy. That was the old mentality. So my job is to teach.
Mm. So you've worked with some of boxers' biggest names. Could you let the viewers know some of the boxers and the MMA fighters that you've worked with?
Ooh, gee, just tons, man. I guess from the UK, of course, Tyson Fury, right now, and MMA, Michael Bisping, and I've just done so many. Andre Ward, the Klitschko brothers. Gosh, it goes on and on and on, bro. I've been blessed. Fedor Emelianenko that just retired. I worked with him, and so many fights.
Do you have a favorite fighter?
Nah, I like them all, bro. If I like you, I'll work with you. If I don't, I have another date assigned already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, the guys that I work with are all super, super guys, and it's tough to say I like one over another because they're all special in what they do and how we associate.
Yeah. Have you ever been starstruck?
No, not really. Yeah, it's kind of funny how some people are kind of starstruck with me. It kind of blows my mind. I was at a boxing show in Phoenix, Arizona, Friday, and the doctor that does the stitches for the fighters, he comes up to me like a little kid and saying he's a big, big fan, and he's admired the work that I've done and this and that. And I'm looking at him and I say, wow, this guy's a doctor, and he's over there kind of kissing up to me, But I've been blessed, to run into a lot of guys. And Shaq O'Neal, when Triple G fought Canelo on the last card, I'm in the back and he's walking in from outside, and he comes right up to me and says, "Man, I see you everywhere." And that was it. So that was kind of nice to get those kind of compliments.
Mm. Have you always been a cutsman?
No, no, I was a trainer before. I was a trainer before I was a cut man, but I've been doing it 30, 35 years maybe. So, yeah.
Do you prefer training or being a cutsman?
Well, both. It's just been a while since I trained somebody. Usually, when my son comes over, one of my sons, and we'll do a little bit of pad work and all that. But I kind of do this, 2, 3 times a month, sometimes 4 times a month. So I enjoy being a cut man now at this level.
So something I was wondering is, what's the worst cut that you've ever had to deal with in a fight, and the fighter's gone on to win?
Well, I did one Friday, believe it or not. Andres Cortez ended up with a big old gash right here, and kept him in the game. And all the commentators were saying how it wasn't bleeding, and he ended up winning a fight. And so that was not bad. Let's see if I could. Yeah, this was. Let me see if I could show you a wrong way. So, but those I do those all the time, and it's all routine and it's all technique. So,
have you ever had a cut that was so bad that you just think, I can't help this? It's too bad.
Well, there's a good question. There's been cuts that I've seen that I know I can work on, but in the long term, what kind of damage is it going to do to the fighter? Optical nerve damage, and just double vision. So I know there was one of the bare knuckle fights I was working with a girl, and she ended up with a real thin cut right above, right on the eye, and it was like a razor, just cut it thin, but it went right through. And the referee says, you got 30 seconds to work on it. And I said, no, don't need it. I'm not going to let her go out like this and possibly have some serious damage. And she's trying to fight it off, and I tell her, I said, well, look, when you go to the dressing room, look at yourself in the mirror, and then you'll come by and thank me. And she came by and she thanked me, because those are the things you got to look at. Easy outside of just stopping a cut, or is to give them every opportunity to win a fight, but in the same token, to take care of them.
Have you ever had a fighter been angry at you?
No. I've been, actually, I've been selected. I've had the privilege of working with fighters that I enjoy working with, and they know that I'm there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to take care of them. So no, it's been a blessing.
So what would you say is the biggest fight that you would say that you've worked at, in your opinion?
Ooh, man, I've done them all, bro. Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko, Wembley Stadium, 90,000 people. I just turned down the Jake Paul fight about an hour ago.
Really?
Because you're the first one to hear it. So I'll give you exclusive. I have the premiere for the Creed 3 movie is the same day.
Yeah.
And of course I'm in the Creed movie, so I had to turn it down just about an hour ago. Danny Smith, one of the trainers, a good friend of mine. I've worked with him before many times, and I was supposed to be there with Badu Jack. He was going to fight on the 25th, and I was going to get home on the 26th, and then do the premiere on the 27th. But Badu's Jack got moved to the same day as Jake Paul's, and I had to turn Badu down. And Danny Smith just sent me a message about an hour ago, and I had to turn that one down also. But a lot of big fights, bro. A lot of the fights that I do are big fights.
So, do you know much of Jake Paul? Have you?
Yeah, I know Jake Paul. I know Logan Paul. I've worked with KSI. I've worked with Anson Gill. But Jake and Logan are good guys, man. KSI. They're all these guys in that social media group. They're all good guys, but the thing with Jake and Logan is, when I first met them, I appreciated them for what they did, because they were wrestlers in high school, and if you're a wrestler in high school, if you're a wrestler, you're a good athlete. So I know that skill wise, that they would be able to do what they do. So yeah, both good guys.
Do you think, you see people say that Jake Paul's not a proper boxer? Do you think that, how high do you rate Jake Paul?
Oh no, he can fight. No doubt about it. And the thing about it is I know, you're gonna have people that are gonna say things easy, but in my position, when the only thing that counts is the truth, and I've been in this game long enough to know that Jake Paul can fight. But the point is B.J. Flores and Danny Smith are his coaches. And I worked with both B.J. Flores when he was a fighter and Danny Smith when he was B.J.'s coach. So I know their intensity for training, and they wouldn't train Jake Paul unless Jake Paul could fight. No, he can fight. I've been in those fights where he's knocked out Tyrone Woodley and, Ben Affleck and Ben Affleck. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so, yeah, he can fight. So bless his heart.
Do you think that he's going to beat Tommy Fury?
I don't pick him, man. I do so many fights, man, that it's we're all armchair quarterbacks, and we got a 50% chance of predicting the right winner. So I never do. But is it going to be a good fight? Yeah, of course it's going to be a good fight. You'll have Tyson Fury there, and he's going to fuel the fire. Jake Paul, of course, probably his brother will be there. So yeah, it's going to be a night of entertainment. I wish I was there, but I got other priorities.
Yeah. So also, you mentioned that you work with KSI. You see, a lot of people, obviously Jake Paul's had a bit more experience than KSI. People seem to think that Jake Paul may just completely outbox KSI. How do you think? Do you think that would be a mismatch, or do you think that would be a close fight as well?
No, I think that's a good fight. KSI could fight, and when I worked with him, he spent 6 weeks here in Las Vegas, and he trained with us, and he trained just like a regular fighter, but he can fight. So we'll see. That'd be a good matchup.
Yeah. So when you work with a fighter, are you in the camp with them as well?
No, but I do this all the time, and I can't afford to go into camps. It's not cost effective for me. And what I'll do is, let's say I work with you for the first time, right? So when I meet you, it's usually a day or two before the fights. I'll wrap your hands so that we could get a feeling of how your hands feel and any adjustments that you need. And it's kind of like a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
But come fight time, it's my whole job is I'm an insurance policy. Yeah. And it's all mechanics. And I just tell the fighters, look, I'll tell the coaches, just give me the right side of the ring and give me his face, and you guys do everything else. So yeah, it's kind of how we operate.
So a little bit on YouTube boxing. Do you think that it's good for boxing, for the general sport of boxing?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, when I did the first one with Logan Paul and Jake Paul, I didn't know who either one of them were. And I didn't know they had like 20 million followers. That's insane, right? But I knew it was a different. Well, on a marketing aspect, for someone like The Zone that did the first one, they work on subscription. So why not bring in the ones that have 20 million followers and have them fight each other and bring some revenue into the boxing game? But I knew that it was going to be a little different, easy, because the first fight we did was at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and normally when we'll go into the dressing room, we'll put our bags away there. We'll put them in the dressing room. Then we'll go to ringside. The team will go to ringside, and we'll look at how the stairs are situated and where the red corner is or the blue corner, and then we determine what your job is, what my job is, what the coach's job is. But I knew it was different because everybody recognized Leon and the other coach that were from the UK and didn't recognize me. There were a lot of young guys. Yeah. So I knew it was a different world.
Yeah. So a little bit more about general boxing. Are you a fan of boxing? Like, can you separate your work from your actual enjoyment of the sport?
Oh yeah, of course. I got the best job in the world. How can you not? You travel all over the world. I was in Tokyo for New Year's Eve, did a show there, and I was just in Phoenix last week, and I think New York the week before. And so yeah, it's not a bad job, bro.
Yeah,
I'm kind of blessed to be doing this, and I was doing the bare knuckle fights, and I was working with Bellator and with PFL, and but now I'm just doing a lot of boxing because I teamed up with Top Rank, the top boxing promotion here in the United States. They used to compete with Talkin. They brought me in as a house cup man, so I'm happy.
So, who are some boxers that you enjoy watching?
Right now, for the new generation, Shakur Stevenson, I like him. I work with him also. Jared Anderson, he's a new upcoming heavyweight. These are the young guys that, and then there's a group, Devin, what's Devin's last name?
Devin Haney.
Yeah, Devin Haney. He's up and coming. So yeah, a lot of the young guys. It's nice to see the generation continue to go.
Yeah. What about all time? Who are some of your all time favorite boxers?
Oh, of course, Roberto Duran. You couldn't go without saying Roberto Duran, Alexis Arguello, Julio Cesar Chavez. Of course, I liked Evander Holyfield. So there was, Bernal Whitaker, Hector Macho Camacho. These were all the legendary come or boxers. And I was at the Mayweather gym yesterday, and I was looking at some of the fights of Floyd Jr. And this guy was exceptional. He was a gift. He had a gift from God that gave him the natural instincts to fight, and he's done well with that.
Something I was wondering is, do you find that like certain types of skin seem to just cut more, or easier to heal, or?
Yeah, good question. That's a very good question. Bone contour, it helps. If you have some of the little bit more protruding edges, then once you make that contact, then it makes it a little easier to cut. But no, a cut is a cut. And you always prepare for the worst case scenario and cuts in the craziest places. I've had cuts here, I've had cuts up there, I've had some here, and so you kind of prepare always for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, and I just lost my train of thought. The Vaseline. You see that trainers apply Vaseline to the fighter. How much does that actually affect it?
Yeah, that's a good question also. And I've always said that if it worked as good as it's supposed to work, fighters wouldn't get cut. But I work plenty of cuts, bro. So that's an old tradition. Sometimes some of the traditional things, you keep in the game. And I mean, Vaseline, it has its moments, of course. It probably will minimize them, but to what extent, I don't know. I don't know if it's a benefit or not.
Yeah. Outside of boxing, what are some of the things that you like doing?
Pretty much staying home. I travel so much that I spend a lot of time with my family and just kind of make the best out of it. Just kick back. I'll do gym runs every once in a while. I'll go to the Mayweather gym. I'll go to Salas's gym, and here in Las Vegas, Bones Adams gym, City Boxing, and just kind of go hang out with the guys, kind of like barbershop talk. And but that's it. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm blessed to be doing what I do, and don't take it for granted at all.
Do you like any other sports?
Yeah. My whole goal was always to be American baseball player, but that never materialized. But the football, the American sports, I don't know anything, very little actually about soccer. Not something I grew up with. Or rugby. Those are more international. But football and baseball.
Yeah. Okay. So just a little bit, something different to end it. So you can choose to take whatever you want. So you have 60 seconds to answer. I've got a little boxing quiz. As many boxing questions as you can.
All right. Shoot.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Who is the oldest heavyweight to win a world title?
George Foreman.
How old was he when he did it?
About 46.
45. Who's the youngest person to win the heavyweight title?
Felix Trinidad. Heavyweight title.
Heavyweight title.
Sorry, heavyweight title. Good question. I'm going to say Muhammad Ali.
No, Mike Tyson. Where was George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali?
Zaire.
Correct. What round did Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko?
The 10th round.
11th round.
Then,
Who did Clarissa Shields beat in her last fight?
I don't know.
Savannah Marshall. Which boxer is named the Bronze Bomber?
The Bronze Bomber?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Deontay Wilder. Who is Ryan Garcia's next fight scheduled for?
Gervonta Davis.
Correct. That's your time. That was a good score.
The Bronze Bomber. That's right. And then I worked with Vladimir.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fight. That was the last time he fought, and that was a great moment.
Yeah. How was that fight? Because I remember that was one of the first. Because I'm only 17. That was one of the first fights that I really captured my love for boxing. How was Vladimir after that fight?
Yeah, he was good. Him and Anthony Joshua became good friends. So he's helped him out and all that, and they always keep a relationship going. But yeah, just it was to see so many people, and I always said 90,000 Brits are like 150,000 somebody else. You guys are great fans, and at the end of the fight, it was such a good fight that just like the Rocky movie, the fans were going, "Glitz, go, Glitz, go, Glitz." And that was very respectful.
So do you, just a little bit on a similar topic, do you ever have any fighters that are just like that you've been distraught after a fight that hasn't gone their way?
Yeah, whenever any kind of situation falls on the negative side, you're gonna react to it, and that's the thing. That's a good question. That's the thing is to bring them back in his spirits and let him know that it's when you're working on percentages, not everybody bats 100%. So it's gonna happen. How you deal with it, and in fact, I'm working with a fighter, and I told him just the other day is you stay humble in defeat as you would stay humble in victory.
Yeah.
So it's tough for these guys because it's a one-on-one sport, and it's a hurt business, and I can understand.
Yeah. Do you keep a close relationship with some of your fighters that you work with?
Well, only when I see them, we'll hug each other and go through all this. But no, pretty much, I love them all.
Just business, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it's when we see each other, it's personal at that time. But yeah, we don't go chasing each other down or anything like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So thank you very much. This has been a really insightful interview. I really appreciate you doing it with me. Thank you very much.
All right, my pleasure, my man. Thank you, and keep it up. And good job. Good questions.
Thank you very.